Go ahead and set up the template. Again, we don't start from blank files. This has a working boilerplate template, and we just need to add our designs, add our content, and modify any JavaScript to make this thing happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So here is a template itself. Notice again, there's no sounds here except the two that are being loaded via absolute paths. There's nothing inside of the styling, and there's the JavaScript that we need to get this thing running. And this is what we'll be unpacking in future classes. And this is what we started last week. What are the concepts that make this thing go? So here is a soundboard template created by the professor, and here is me, anonymous student. And so I'm going to take this and go ahead and fork it to my account. So yes, I want to fork this project. That means I can get rid of the template. So I forked the template to this account. Now that we have the template forked to our accounts, we can go ahead and start by uploading our files. And so I'm going to have you upload all of your sounds to this assets folder. We see here that assets folder doesn't exist. Let's go ahead and make that assets folder. Then from here, I'm going to upload the sounds that we created earlier. Okay, let's see why whoop whoop can't be uploaded. Let's try this again. So we have our Mario. Oh, that's why, because there was a space in it. So let's go ahead and move the first sound, the clap, into the assets folder. Of course, these are MP3s that we made earlier. And we're just going to remove the space on the file name whoop whoop, because we can't have that. I'm going to drop it into here, and there we go. Okay, so that was our issue. So I'm going to go ahead and move that back into the assets folder. So again, our assets folder has our 3 sounds right now. This is the same folder that's going to have your pictures and your content. So there's the clap sound, the Mario money sound, and the whoop whoop. All right, so now that all 3 sounds are uploaded to our project, right? They're not being loaded remotely. They're relative to the project now. They're inside of this assets folder. Let's go ahead and start the next part. The next part is to edit your HTML and add the sounds. So let's go ahead and do just that. Okay, so we can use this as a template right here. So we have this main that contains all of the keys for all of the sounds. And then we have the individual sounds for each of the keys. And it's up to us about which key we want to assign to each individual sound. So before we do that, we should probably bring up keycode.info to make sure that we get the right sounds, the right key codes for the right keys. So A, S, D, F, or G, H, J, K, L, semicolon, up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of this one and use this one as a template. And I can get rid of this one here. All right, so the first thing I want to do is figure out what key do I want to press. In this case, I'm going to use A, which is 65. So we come in here, the A is indeed 65. There's the letter A right there. And this sound is going to be the whoop whoop. And what I want to do now is put the absolute path, right? Because that's the relative, that's the absolute path. We want the relative path. And we have a fast way of doing that. Simply right click, copy relative path, and put that in there. Oh, one more time, right click, or control click, right click, copy relative path, and there it is. All right, so there's our first one, and then we're just gonna wash, rinse, and repeat. And let's do the next one. So the next key I want is gonna be S. All right, to the letter S. And so I'm gonna come in here, and S is 83. So I'm gonna change this to 83. And this is going to be the clap sound. So I'm going to come into this and just kind of repeat all of this. So this is now going to be 83 for the clap sound, right? And 83 maps to the letter S, as we saw here. So where is the clap? So right click, copy relative path. Oops, there you go. Right click, copy relative path, or we can just type it in. Both will work. I did it. All right, come on. There's clap, right click, copy relative path. I want the relative path. Code pen. There it is. All right, come into here. There's into this data key of 83 to the visually to the letter S, so our users know what key to press, and the sound is a clap. All right, and we're gonna put in our third sound just to make sure this is all working. So I'm just gonna copy that. And let's do a weird key. How about the letter W? When we don't press it, so W is going to be 87. So I'm going to change this to 87, and the sound that I want is the Mario Money sound. So I'm going to get that relative path. By now, this should be kind of making a lot of sense. Oh, for some reason, it's giving me the entire element. I just want the relative path. I don't know why it's doing that. So if that's not working for you, right, we can always just type it in too, right? So we can go assets slash, and then I picked the big one to type, Mario Money sound. Again, there's no spaces in this. All right, so there's that. And then we want to map that to a key. We picked W, and W is key 87. And we want to tell our users which key do we want to press. In this case, it's going to be W. And what sound are they going to hear when they press W? In this case, it's going to be the Mario Money sound. And again, they're all MP3s. All right, so we can hit save on this and double check that we have our minimum viable product, or our proof of concept. Does this thing work? All right, so if I click on it, I'll hear whoop whoop. Maybe I need to change the output of the sound here. So I'm going to output to my computer speaker so you can hear this too. Okay, so if I click on here, it'll play. Click on the S, it'll play. Click on the A, it'll play. All right, so if we look at our scripts.js, that's right down here. We're listening for any clicks too. All right, so we can come back into here. Now I'm going to press the letter A. Oops, sorry. I'm going to be into my website, into this space here. I'm going to press the letter A, press the letter S, press the letter W. All right, all that plays, and that's a part of listening for any keys. Okay, and so later on, we're going to make sure that we also have touch events, right? And that's what this touch start is. So there we go. We have our minimum proof of concept that this is working for. If we had no styling whatsoever, we know that this works. So there's that. So we have taken care of the HTML. Now let's go on to a CSS, make sure that our CSS is connected. And this could be any initial styling. So styling.css. Oh, we can do so many things. Just give the body a background color, right? Hot pink. Save. Does it work? Great. That means our CSS is connected. Okay. Let's say we wanted to make the letters bigger for the keyboard elements. So KBD. I messed that up in class quite a bit. So let me make sure I got the right one here. KBD, keyboard. Okay, so style.css, our KBD element. Okay, and we give that a font size of 3M, make it nice and big so we can see it. Right. Save that and run it. So there we go. Right. So did it change? Did it work? Great. Right. So we can go color green. Okay. So all this is working. Okay. So this is just some initial styling to make sure everything is connected. Okay. And hit save on that. So we've taken care of some initial styling, and then we're going to go ahead and make a console.log message to make sure that our JavaScript is working. Now, this is a little bit deceptive. We're like, well, wasn't it working already? Well, everything here is already in the boilerplate, and we always, running more than one check isn't a bad idea. We also didn't look at the console yet, and we don't know if there's any errors in the console. So let's go ahead and go into our debug mode and check that. We check our console. We don't see any errors. So now we're going to explicitly write a console.log message that says it, okay, and hit save on that. And now if we refresh, right, our event says when is okay going to be ran when the page is loaded. So we refresh this, and there we see the okay. So we've run through the checks. We have no errors. We're able to modify the content, we're able to modify the styling, and we're able to modify the scripts. And this is the process that we need to run through to make sure everything is set up before we make any other changes to this.